Welcome into Rover Sports, guys. Just had Jet Central on the phone just recently, and it was kind of unfortunate a little bit because I'm trying to get this audio thing figured out, and I got you guys right now on the Periscope, and we're gonna go ahead right now, and we're going to offer up some suggestions and picks as we look here at the NFL season. And yesterday, what ended up happening was Mitchell Trubisky continues to be shafted by the Chicago Bears. The game was borderline unwatchable. Aaron Rodgers, had success with Jordy Nelson. And the Bears, they're just a flat-out dumpster fire right now. And looking at John Fox, he's a dead man walking. He offers nothing. He brings nothing to the table. And, if I were the Bears, you just got to start fresh. You got to get a new offensive coordinator other than Loggins. And, John Fox is just not that creative. I know he had success with Carolina. I know that he took Tebow to the playoffs. I always thought it was McDaniels, but it was Tim Tebow. And when you look, at John Fox and you look at the Chicago Bears, I mean, last night's game was just a really, really pitiful performance, by Chicago. And it was just unfortunate to kind of watch. I'm going to let some of you guys roll in right now to the show. I know that we're here in the afternoon, so it's a tougher schedule to get you guys on board. But I'm going to go ahead and try to load these picks in for this week. And I like the NFL slate this week. It's okay. It's not an incredible NFL slate, but last week was just insane how we had Minnesota beating Tampa Bay. And I know Tampa Bay is a 3-point favorite at home versus the New York Giants. And I really look for Minnesota to hammer the heck out of the Giants. And because Tampa Bay lost to Minnesota last week, so they're going to be coming in, and they have good edge rushers. Noah Spence is a really good pick. Robert Ayers is a former Giant that's a veteran that, could have some success. And then you look at Gerald McCoy inside. McCoy, if they've moved Pugh out, they're going to be starting a really crappy guard, and Gerald McCoy's just going to own that matchup. Then they have Vernon Hargrave. So, Jameis Winston is very hot and cold. Jameis Winston, he really had a rough game, last week. And, will these quarterbacks completely turn the corner, or will Jameis Winston just continue to fluctuate up and down? I mean, that's a question for you guys. Do you think that Jameis Winston will continue to be anemic, continue to be inconsistent? I know he has a long release, but which team, when are the Bucs going to start to, get the reins? And last week, maybe it's just September. The Bucs were awful in September as well. I know that Case Keenum performed really well last couple weeks or last week. So that whole game was just really odd to watch. The Vikings, it really doesn't make sense. And actually oh my God, this is Case Keenum. It looked like it was Sam Bradford for a second. I thought I got the wrong video, but I look for the Bucs to really handle the New York Giants, and I look for Ben McAdoo to be headed out real soon. He's awful. He's a terrible head coach. He doesn't run the football at all. It's not Eli Manning's fault at all. Eli Manning is just playing a system that's foreign to him. So the Bucs are going to handle them next week. A team that I think is going to take a nosedive is the Jacksonville Jaguars, because Blake Bortles, I know he went to London, and I know he had himself a night, but point is, it's Blake Bortles. It was one game. Jacksonville's losing to the Jets. They're not going on the road. They're not going in the MetLife and winning. It's one of the easiest picks you can make. Jets are getting points here for some reason. Jets are going to win this one like 30-10. I backed Jacksonville against Tennessee, and Tennessee just, slapped Jacksonville. And so I really look at the Jags, and I think that they are going to suck this week versus the Jets. I think that's going to be a pretty poor game. LA and Dallas. I mean, that's an interesting matchup. LA and the Dallas Cowboys. Can Cooper Kupp have success versus Jordan Lewis? You look at, some of these cornerbacks of Dallas, and they're really poor. So, how's Leonard Fournette going to do? I mean, you still have to start Fournette. You probably drafted him in the second round like I did. Unfortunately, everybody but Leonard scored, and Mercedes Lewis, that's like 50 years old, scored last week. So, I don't think he's going to do incredibly well. I think the Jets have a good defensive front, and, they're going to be keying in on Fournette, but you have to start him. I mean, I thought that he would do awful against the Texans, and that was his best game. And I actually didn't start him versus the Texans, and then I started him against the freaking, the Tennessee Titans. I played him, and he was awful. So I'm going to go ahead and look at some of these other matchups, but I think that the Jets are going to win pretty handily in that game. Basically, last night was just totally awful with with Mitchell Trubisky, with Tony Romo calling the football game. And let's see here. I'm gonna go to my online. I'm gonna go to Bovada right now. I have you guys on Periscope right now. And thank you for joining me here midday. Just trying to get in a podcast. Frustrating. I interviewed Jet Central, this guy, and it sucked because the audio happened to be an echo. Tonight we have some football. Tonight we finally have some football. We have Washington State. That line continues to go up towards USC. We have Washington State, USC, and, Mike Leach is a crazy, crazy guy. I really am a huge fan of Mike Leach, and I think Washington State tonight, that's going to be a really fun game. Luke Falk is a really good NFL prospect that nobody really knows about. That game's in Pullman. That's a sleepy, scary game for USC and Sam Darnold. I think it's going to be a must-watch game. I think Washington State could really pull the upset. Nebraska at Illinois, Mike Riley, Shawnee Eichhorst is there, and he is gone. So I look at Illinois and Lovie Smith, the 6 points, in Champaign. I think that's going to be a really kind of interesting matchup there tonight. So we got a couple of good games tonight, guys, and I'll take some of your questions, though. If you guys have any fantasy questions, if you guys want me to preview some of the NFL, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you some more NFL picks. I like Texas Tech, by the way, tomorrow night. Texas Tech is very underrated. They're winning in different ways. Under Cliff Kingsbury, the only way they used to win in the past was by scoring, 70-plus points. They're finally winning football games. Wow, Mississippi State and Auburn, that game's now at 8 points, but Auburn's going to hammer Mississippi State. I saw State in person, and they're not going to run that football, so Mississippi State's going to get drilled by Auburn. And wrapping up college football, Virginia Tech and Clemson. You can't go against Clemson and Brett Venables. That defense is too damn good. I think so because, I like Hargraves. I think he's a physical corner. Last week they ran this hurry-up offense gimmick. Now, if the Bucs are winning by a ton, then it's going to be something where, are you going to put Are you going to score some garbage time touchdowns? But do I think that Odell Beckham's going to have success next week or this week? I don't think so. They can't run the ball a lick, so I'm gonna say hell no. I don't think so. I think the Giants are awful. I think McAdoo's gone. And here's some more compilations here of this Detroit game with Eli throwing this interception to, Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram grabbing his crotch in the end zone after a touchdown. The culture's just a nightmare. So, no, I think Tampa Bay's going to hammer the Giants. I think Tampa Bay's legit. They just slept walk in Minnesota, and there's so many results that are messed up in the NFL. I mean, how could the Saints beat Carolina like that? Carolina has an unbelievable defensive front, and they flat out sucked. Cam Newton, I don't understand this guy. Went 15-1. He was such a rock star. And then, last year, down. They freaking had Bradbury and who the heck is the other cornerback that they had? James Bradbury, though. They're drafting all these rookies. Carolina just sucked last year. Sean McDermott with some stupid game plans. And what the heck is up with Cam Newton? I thought Cam Newton was going to be the next guy to carry the torch. He's just inconsistent. Mentally, he's either there or not there. It's either Auburn Cam Newton or it's Florida Cam Newton. So the NFL is just such a frustrating product. It takes guys like Matt Stafford, it takes them a long, long time, to develop into really good quarterbacks and to be consistent. And it's weird. Matt Ryan wasn't really that good, right? I think he never won a playoff game until last season. So, and then last year he has this year, and then suddenly with, now Sarkisian, the stuff just happens to all work out and go downhill from there. All right, so anyway, trying to get to the NFL picks that I'm going to make this week. Just wanted to throw up a video. I know it's been a little while. Again, going to work on technology so I can happen to do feeds all the time when I need to. Dallas is -6.5 versus the Rams. Jared Goff with 11 days to prepare. I'm not a huge Jared Goff believer. Even when he hit Watkins down the sideline, he's so limited in his ability. However, McVay's a genius. Dallas, and their defensive coordinator Marinelli sometimes has really weak game plans. Anthony Brown's been getting burnt. Everybody thought Anthony Brown is great, but there's a reason he's a 6th-round pick out of Purdue. It's because he's like 5'8", and he gets burnt a ton. So I think Cooper Kupp, Sammy Watkins will have big days. That's a huge number, -6.5. I'm probably going to stay away from that football game. Atlanta. Oh, I'm taking Atlanta over Buffalo. I mean, Tyrod Taylor can't play. This Atlanta defense is good. Everybody's selling Atlanta short, but they're 3-0 for a reason. And the Steelers went in the Chicago, and they didn't play well either. So I really like the Falcons. Holy crap. There's breaking news right now, getting it from a good buddy. Ironically, Jet Central is telling me that there's breaking news right now, and that is Russell Westbrook. Wow, imagine if I would have retitled this video. Russell Westbrook is getting a 5-year. Is he staying in Oklahoma City? Does anybody know anything about Russell Westbrook here? As breaking news has just unfolded as we are on the air, is Russell Westbrook going to be an Oklahoma City Thunder? Oh, my God. Holy crap. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Russell Westbrook's not going to be a Laker. He's staying in Oklahoma City. What's Paul George going to do now? Sam Presti getting Carmelo Anthony? This all worked out. This is unbelievable. Russell Westbrook is now staying in Oklahoma City. The NBA offseason's insane. Sam Presti ain't going to ever let him go. Now they can go ahead and compete with the Golden State Warriors in the West. I thought that team was just a rental for Russell Westbrook. What the heck is going on? How could Russell Westbrook not go back to Los Angeles? Why is he staying in Oklahoma City with an owner that traded James Harden, with a city that's so boring? I know that, people, love Oklahoma City, and I happen to like that style of life, but it seems like the NBA guys don't like Oklahoma City, and this is just crazy to me. It's crazy that Russell Westbrook is staying in Oklahoma City, and what Sam Presti did, I mean, even though Sam Presti traded James Harden to Oklahoma City, it's unbelievable now that Russ is staying there. They're going to be a contender now. That's a destination spot. And now what will Paul George do? Will he bounce to go play with Lonzo Ball in the unknown, or will he kind of take the coward's move and kind of stay with Oklahoma City now? Because I know Paul George wants to move to LA, but now that Russell Westbrook's involved, it's going to make things a ton more interesting for the NBA now. The NBA just dominating headlines out here. Melo gets traded. Now Russell Westbrook is not going to be a free agent. He's not bouncing. That is shocking that Sam Presti actually could pull this off. Pretty freaking unbelievable. Back to my NFL picks. I'll probably donate a whole video to seeing this Russell Westbrook thing out. I like Houston at home. I don't think that Marcus Mariota is going to have success playing in Houston. Yes, I think Houston, with that much time to prepare, Deshaun Watson, they have a ton of momentum. They actually played well in New England, so I am going to take the Houston Texans. I am going to roll with them in that game. I think Houston pulls it out from Tennessee and sends Tennessee back down a peg. I look at the Chargers. I think the Chargers will get a win. Philly is so banged up in the secondary. Expect Henry, Benjamin, those guys to have a big game. Then we have an interesting game, Arizona and San Francisco. San Francisco getting 7. They should cover that one for sure. That's just too much time for the Niners there. So I really appreciate you guys hanging with a little bit of NFL predictions here. Just wanted to get in a quick video. I'm probably going to pop on live tomorrow at some point, especially during Tennessee and South Carolina, so we can chat, or Tennessee and Georgia, I should say. It's a great slate in the SEC. Auburn, Mississippi State, Tennessee, and Georgia. Tennessee is 0-24 versus top 10 teams. The last 24 matchups. You have to go back to 2006 until Tennessee could beat a program that was in that was a top 10 team. So Butch Jones, if he doesn't win tomorrow, he is likely ousted. I know he promoted the tight ends coach to offensive coordinator. John Kelly's going to have a big game. Marquez Callaway will likely be covered, by DeAndre Baker, who had an insane game last week. You have Aaron Davis there. You have Sanders. You have a great secondary in Georgia. So I think Tennessee will keep that game close, but I look at Georgia. I still believe that they can win a close game tomorrow. So that's going to be fun. Texas Tech, Oak State's going to be a good game. There's some sneaky good matchups in college football. Virginia Tech and Justin Fuente, one of the best coaches in college football is Justin Fuente, and we will see what Fuente can do. Tonight, it is Sam Darnold under the lights in Pullman. Mike Leach, crazy Mike Leach, gonna go ahead and see what develops with Mikey Leach. All right, guys, appreciate y'all hanging, and we're gonna talk soon, get the audio fixed up so we can actually record some interviews and enjoy. It's really a 3-day football weekend, so enjoy it, guys. And Russell Westbrook is to Oklahoma City. He's staying with the Thunder. Pretty incredible stuff